and to save the way the route going back all the way back home. Instead of going all the way back to Miami, they say that the US Navy, they'll stop in Gibraltar, got an airport with all the infrastructure they need. British will do the same. Come to Gibraltar. As Gibraltar, the base that's taking place, it's actually in the gateway of the Mediterranean. So we're effectively in our flag. We got a key in our flag, that will be the key of the gateway of the Mediterranean. So a very strategic place. Look at the map of the world. Gibraltar is mostly in the middle. As we get going, we're going to see this movement of personnel, because in Gibraltar we have 35,000 population. Every day crossing the frontier, that's happening right now. 15 to 17,000 workers cross the frontier every day to work for us. And everything they need to work with comes in with it. We do not produce anything at all apart from money and potable water. Apart from that, we have 4 to 6 million tourists coming to visit Gibraltar between March and November. We just ended the cruise season. And today we've got cruising nearly every day for the next months or two. It means that Gibraltar could be a very congested place. Saying this, in Gibraltar we tend to have very big families. I'm a perfect example of it. I'm the eldest of 7, 6 younger sisters. Let's think about that. And I've got 6 kids myself. And the last one is only 4.5 years old. I'm 51. I'm still at it, my friend. What happened 4.5 years ago? COVID came, no tourists, then I got bored. So I'm back here working again. So we're just going to enter now what is what used to be one of the best fortifications in its day in the world. Starting with this narrow channel or alleyway, you could say, where ships will actually be sailing, because remember this used to be sea before. You look to your right there, you will see some embrasures where there will be a gun emplacement. This was done by Admiral Rook. You got here to your right. There will be now a line of guns on the other side, so I'm actually now sailing into this channel, asking for the favour of the governor, and that guy there will give me the go-ahead. If not, I will just be shot and sunk, because this used to be called Devil's Tank. Once I had the favour of the governor, I will keep on sailing now into the safety of the walls. In those days, this was a new thing. These ships were wooden ships, very fragile. From a long journey from the Atlantic, crossing the Atlantic, so they're coming into the Straits of Gibraltar. First bay they see will be this one to its left, coming into the Gibraltar walls. Now I'm going to try and dock my ship behind the safety of the wall, because these walls we got in front of us will be the limit of the old city. Everything you see from that wall to us has been reclaimed to the sea. The sea used to crash against that wall there. And the gap between the wall will be the channel of water still going in, so I'm still sailing into the safety of the walls. Water gates in front of me. That's where we're going to finish the tour. And I'll offer you to stay. You can stay in town or back to the ship. And those gates would have closed at night, opened in the morning for the safety of the town. I'll follow in this channel to end up in my docking place, and we're still sailing into the walls. West place runs to my left, defending me just in case there's a ship following me or waiting for me if I go out. And now to my right, coming up will be Lamput Ditch. That's where now we have a car park. Before used to be where I will actually dock my ship, using those embrasures at the top of the wall as landing docks. I'll put my plank there, walk the wall, drawbridge into the city. So everything you see now to your left has been reclaimed to the sea. But the reclaimed land, we're starting to reclaim land now on the eastern side. We don't actually see that project happening. And that's because Gibraltar's demand at the moment is 200%. Everybody wants a piece of this cake. The more demand, the higher the price, and the more interest your home will give you. We're heading to an area where you actually pay up to £500,000 for a 1-bedroom flat. But the problem is finding one to buy. You can see the movement now. Everybody's walking into Gibraltar. This movement will be going out mostly today around 4:30. They'll start the movement out of Gibraltar tonight. 11:30, last drinks. Gibraltar will be empty. You ask yourself what's happened. Because from this very busy place, it just goes down to mellow. That's because Gibraltar is mainly very high financial place, a lot of work in Gibraltar, 3 major economies, one being tourism, second one being bunkering, your ship is being bunkered at the moment, and the third one, the invisible one, the most lucrative one will be corporate tax. All these cryptocurrency banks, online gambling, online casinos, all these businesses are based in Gibraltar because they only pay 10% of tax. So we have a lot of work down to that. We're heading already down. We're on the northern face of the rock. We're heading to the eastern side. We'll be going to the southern point of Gibraltar, looking to the other continent of Africa, then shooting back down as we follow down the road from the rock, the western side. So we're going to do the whole round the rock. This side here will be mostly the most commercial side until a few years ago when we came out of the Brexit. Once we are out of the EU, 98% of us voted to remain in the EU because it was more convenient for us. But of course, as we left, we had to start to adapt to our economy. So we've got a frontier of Spain. We always depended that Spain lets all the tourists come in because 90% of those 6 million tourists come through the border, mostly doing a visit to Andalusia area, popping into Gibraltar for a day, a few hours and leaving. Let's say tomorrow Spain says you all need a visa, that will drop down to 20%. That means our financial income gets affected, the tourism. So we're trying to do now is trying to make more hotels, bigger beaches, make more space, offer the tourists what they want, just in case that happens. At least we can hold on to until we do a treaty or a deal. We've been 6 years trying to do a deal with Spain, but Spain wants the whole Gibraltar. And that's not going to be possible because we have 35,000 here. If people don't want it to be British, I consider myself 110% Gibraltarian. That means I was born and bred here, very proud to be a Gibraltarian, but I'm 10% British. All my paperwork, all my education, or even my money is British money, sterling. So you can see this project is already happening. It will be 7 years to 10 years project with a £5 billion investment, 11 hotels, 22 housing project, 200 super yacht marina, all into the sea, at least 4 to 5 kilometers out to sea. We've got to the limit on the western side, we started the eastern side. Saying this face here will be the northern face, it will be the highest one, being 426 meters high. It's called Devil's Tower, because anybody getting near this face here will be thrown. Rocks, logs, shot at, canyons, even apes will be thrown at you if they had to, because it was very difficult to get near this face. On the eastern side, we don't need a wall. We've got a wall we just left behind, made by the man, because we've got a cliff face here, a big sand dune, where we cut the road into it. And like I said, we wanted one of the best fortification down to that wall we just left behind, and the rock itself. Inside this rock, we've got 52 kilometers of tunnels. All the rubble that came out was thrown into the sea. That was created, and instead of using bricks, we use rocks. Now coming to a beautiful small fishing village called Catalan Bay. Catalan will be the Spanish name, Catalonia. It should be called Catalan Bay because when Ferdinand II pushed out all the Moors from Spain, he pushed out all the Jews and the group of Catalans that are around the area fishing tuna. Of course, they took cover in this little beach at this eastern side. The only access was by boat, this not exist in those days. And the British saw them there and they took advantage and they said, alright, you can stay here as long as you feed me with fresh fish. Talking about tuna, because they were around the area fishing tuna, very skillful fishermen. So of course, you stay there, you feed me up with tuna, and we'll see what's going on. There's still Kolkata Bay today. They're still having fishing shacks and little huts there. It's one of the best places with the most solicited places in Gibraltar. Look at this small little beach here. And these beaches will be mostly very pristine beaches because when there's a little bit of a storm coming, or steady winds, the waves will hit that wall, so it will actually clean the whole beach. Naturally, every day will be mostly nice and clean. And see how small this is. In summer, people will peg the umbrellas to each other because you will not see the sun. This will be a cover of umbrellas, mostly families, all big families all together, using the same space for 150 years, some of them. So just imagine coming down and popping your umbrella in one of those spaces. We won't chuck you out. We're very good, open-hearted people. What we'll do is we'll feed you up and we'll chat you out. Because even though you're listening to British language, I talk gibberish. That will be a mixture of Spanish, English, and our own invented word, the easiest words we can find. We all blurb it out. So when we talk in one language only, what happens to us, we talk too quickly. Because the other one is even quicker and more. So that's why in Gibraltar, when we have very big families living in very small quarters, we all talk over each other. It's quite a thing. We've got our own dictionary, a very funny one. And already we can see a little bit of the landmark of Africa on the other side of the streets. We're heading over there to that southern point. We're going to cross this big rock through a tunnel, going through the rock itself, and there should be open sea to the Mediterranean. At the moment, temperature of the sea will be around 20-21 degrees, so it's still swimmable. We are fed up on the beach already because it's nearly half of October and we're going to the beach since the 1st of March. So now people mostly just look at the beach for a day's stroll. This side of the rock will be mostly where the Neanderthals actually used to take cover in the caves. It's full of caves. There are 168 caves in Gibraltar. Only one open to the public, the one we're going to visit, because it was touched by the hand of man. And it was made in the Second World War as a hospital. You can see on this side here, traffic is just mellowed down. If you're thinking about what about rock falls, we do have them. That's the rock is surveyed by the best. That will be the Royal Engineers, military guys. And now down to new stuff like sensors and all that. What we do is when we see that it's going to happen, we just bolt them in or chain them up or net them up. So you will see that the edges, all the edges will be nets, bolts. It's a way of just keeping that big fall coming down. That happens once in a while. But down to having a lot of people not coming to live on this eastern side, that's even improved. A lot of work by these guys. They say that the work that was done in Gibraltar with the stone was worthy of the Romans. A lot of help as well of the Canadian artificers. They actually bought the first diamond drill, first diamond cutter, they get to work at least 10 times faster. And when I say the work, you're going to see this time we're going to cross now. Only 1/3 is used for public service, tourism, traffic, and so on.
That's fast.
That's Gibraltar, I'm afraid. You never know what's going to happen. The other 2/3 of these towers are still used for training, storage. Still with open sea to the left of the Mediterranean.
Sun is rising.
do. We've got slight west